Rapping with the basement dwellers. Hosted by your boy Jacob Santoro and Christian Talone.
You're blabbering about unnecessary stuff. Cut it out.
Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button to get all the updates from the channel too.
Tell me what your hand's doing over that button first.
But for now, just loud shout and kick back, cause I got a fresh one right here delivered to your speakers. Lock in.
Alright.
We are here, episode 107. Happy Friday to you all. I hope everyone had a great Halloween, a great start to the fall. It's been a beautiful brisk 70-something degrees. Windows are open in the house. It is a very momentous time for all Phoenicians everywhere. My name is Jacob. I'm joined by Christian. As
Hello.
always, my handsome lad. Loving your shirt, by the way, corduroy.
I'm
pink.
loving your shirt, man. What's it made of?
Towel?
Towel?
Towel. It's made of towel. But this isn't about our shirts today.
It's not.
With us today, joining us again for the second time, and for the third time as individual band members, we have DJ from Exiled Martyr.
What's up, guys?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Doing good.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. We'll just kind of we'll address the white missing vocalist in the room.
Yeah.
We unfortunately are down one member due to car problems. I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, from what I checked in, everything's good with Coleman. So he would like to be here, but it's been a messed up day as far as everyone goes.
We all have our car problems for sure. You just experienced that last night.
Oh, yeah. You want to hear some car problems? I had the worst night last night. I got off work. Right. Normal. And I drove all the way home and realized I forgot my backpack full of all my shit, like my chargers and all that stuff at work. And I was like, that's fine. You know, I'm a manager, so I have, like, you know, the codes to get in and everything. I was like, cool. But there's probably going to, like, someone higher up's probably going to get, like, a notification or something, you know, saying, like, who's getting in the store at fucking 1:30 in the morning. So I got back there. And I called Kendra. You know Kendra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called Kendra, and I was just because she lives right there, and I was like, "Hey, if you want to hang out," I was like, "I'm back on this side of town. I'm not really keen on like driving back home just yet, because I got all the way home and had to drive all the way fucking back." So I was like, "Hey, if you want to hang out for a little bit."
It's the worst feeling, dude. As an adult, especially, I gotta say, like, it's now becoming like, do I want to even waste the gas? Like, how important is this?
Yeah, that's where I was at last night, and I was like. Hey, so I called her and she didn't pick up the first time. So I was like, fuck. So like, I was like getting out of my car and I was like texting her, like, answer your phone, you know? And then, I closed my door and I like finished texting her and then she called me back and I was like, hey, you know, she was just talking to me while I went and grabbed my shit. And then I got out and I went back to my car and like went to open the door and I had locked my keys inside my car.
Dude, no.
Yeah. So then I was like, Kendra, this is your fault. If you had just answered the first time, then I wouldn't be locked out of my car. So I was like, now this is escalated from a call to hang out to a call for help.
SOS.
Like, yeah. And I had to break into my car once before. And I know how to do it. Like, what I did was I just folded a long strip of tape and like turned it into like a little like jig, and then I just got some screwdrivers and like pried it open, slipped it in, pull the pop lock. That's how you steal a car, kids.
Now you know.
And I was trying to do that, and I know that there's like a security detail like on that plaza, so I was like, I gotta call them and let them know so they don't think because it's 100% gonna look like I'm stealing a car. And I also had like my leather jacket on, so I just looked like a cartoon like
hooligan
car thief. Yeah. And so I was doing that, and then Kendra had gotten back by that time, and she was she had brought the stuff for me, and I was like, cool. So I'm like trying to do this, and then the security guard walks up. He's like, you got locked out of your car, and I'm like, yeah. But the security guard, he's like plain clothes, so he's like he just looks like a huge black guy. And while we're like doing this, so it's like me and Kendra huddled around the door with screwdrivers and tape.
It's very topical, kids. I promise.
Yeah, and then a huge black guy just standing there right next to us.
All I heard was surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's like now it looks like he's like in on it, and like we're chilling or whatever, trying to get into my car, and then a cop pulls up, and it looks really bad. Because Kendra's like in her like fucking, hood rat clothes. So she's just like in a hoodie and like a hat and like her sweats or whatever. And the cop comes up and he's just like, hey, what's going on? And we're like, I got locked out of my car. I work here. I still have my Pizza Hut hat on. So I was like, look, see, I work right there. And then he was cool enough to like help me break into my car. I didn't really rely on cops because like the last time it happened, I called El Mirage PD and they were like, no. So I was like, okay, thanks guys. So anyways, he's like helping me break into my car. And like I said, I'd done it before. So like the little like weather lining on my passenger side is like kind of dented up. Right. And I was like, he comes in, he's like, where would you like me to do it? I was like, you can do it on this side because it's already dented up. And I'm thinking he has something to pull the pop lock like I was trying to do, right?
Yeah.
But I guess they have like a metal rod with like a little like rubber finger on the end of it. So it's like he like worked it in. His whole plan was to flip the switch to unlock the car. And I didn't think about that right away. And as he's doing it, I'm like, oh fuck, the switch on the passenger side doesn't work. So I didn't have the heart to tell him right away. So he spends like a half hour trying to do this. And meanwhile, the whole time I'm like, it's not gonna work. He gets it up, and it's funny. There was like 2 homeless people like at the bus stop right there, and he was like, "Watch, I bet you one of these homeless people is gonna walk up and pretend like they can do a better job." And then, sure enough, dude, like they walk by, and like this chick walks by. She's like, "You guys need any help? I'm a professional."
What the fuck does that mean?
Just told the cops she's really good at breaking into cars, and I forgot she like gave him. She was like, "Oh, you gotta get closer to the lock right there because you're not gonna wedge it open and that end." But just being like smart ass. And then she leaves, and this was at Sunny Slope, and he's like, "See what I fucking tell you?" he's like, "The slope will provide you its knowledge." And then he like gets the switch, and he's like flipping the switch, and it's not going. He's just like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, this is my bad. I don't think that side works. He's like, "So we have to do the other side now?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, oh, "Fuck it." So then we go to the other side, get it unlocked. I got into my car, and then for some reason, like, because I've only had to do this like once before, like, I have no idea how to turn my car alarm off when it's going off because my little fob doesn't work.
Oh shit!
It's just some problems.
Yeah. So another tricky tip on how to steal a car. I honestly don't even remember what I did. I just closed my door. I turned it on, closed my door, and it went off.
There you go, kids.
That's how you steal. That's how you steal my car. At least don't fucking do that.
DJ is entrusted with the personal information of where the basement is located. DJ, please do not blackmail that information.
Absolutely not.
Valuable information. You'll get a shitty kind of not really a race car.
Are you work from home?
Yeah, dude. Fortunately, I am a work from home.
So you said fortunately?
Yeah.
So you don't miss it at all?
Fuck no.
Really? So I also work from home, and I always am a grass is greener person, where it's just like I feel like I do miss it so desperately. I supervise, so it's weird to have those conversations with people who are, subordinates over a webcam. Like, even if it's not like bad, like it would be better to be like, hey DJ, like, hey, let's go to my office. Like, hey, let's just talk for a little bit. As opposed to being like, hey DJ, when you got a sec, can you meet me? And then it's like sometimes like you don't even have like what's that?
Your mic's not picking up.
Oh, at all?
It's just really quiet.
Oh no. Oh, snap. I don't know why. Weird. Stand by, everybody, while I ruin my story.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get you like subtly, and you weren't picking up on it.
Oh, I got it.
And then I tapped you, and you were like, "What?"
Sorry.
If I tap you when we're on air, that means don't make a scene.
There we go. Come on. There we go. I'm sorry. It's because I'm a little stoned. But but it's just for me. It's like it just feels like I don't know. Like I miss people, kind of. I don't know. I've always been a people person. No, not you.
No. Well, okay. So my job was super stressful for a bit, and like doing the office stuff, doing credit card shit gets super stressful. So all I wanted to do was just hang out with my dogs. Mm-hmm. So once it like fucking the plague hit and whatever, and we're just at home with the dogs, like it was a lot more relaxing for me. I did take more of a managerial role for a little bit, and now I'm just doing reports. Okay. So I really don't have to talk to anybody at all. So it's cool, man. Like I'm listening to podcasts, I'm learning the comics explained, and just working through reports all day.
I do envy that. And while I am a people person, so there was a position in my job that was just data entry. It's cool because I would have got more computer experience, more like IT experience, just like the inner workings of like programs and stuff. Yeah. But the problem is that now that I'm at where I'm at, if I want to go somewhere, am I still not getting picked up? Or is that better?
Let's see.
Hello, test.
You're quieter than all the rest of us.
Test. But what? Hello. There we go. Gosh, someone. Sorry about this, man. I'm so sorry. God damn, that's embarrassing. But my pay wouldn't come with me.
Oh.
So it's like I'd have to take like a decrease. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that shit,
Yeah.
man.
So it's one of those things where I'm like, because I have to interact with people. But yeah, if I was on your side, for sure, there's no way.
Oh, dude, I love it. Plus, like, the best thing is when I do get, like, overwhelmed and stressed out, I just have my dog sitting there staring at me, just happy that I'm there. So that makes everything a million times better. So I'm like, this is cool.
That's cool. Yeah,
What kind of dog is it?
Yeah.
So my ESA, his name is Cyrus. He's a Malamute. So he's a big old, just think of a thick husky.
Nice.
It's
Oh,
really
Hell yeah.
So like you have like a Pokemon.
Yeah, essentially. He looks like a variant of Arcanine, and I love it.
That's cool. Very cool. What's his name?
Cyrus.
Cyrus. Where'd you get that from?
So it was a toss up between like Sirius and the Canis like Lupus like constellation. I wanted something that had to do with that. So instead of calling him Sirius, we went with just Cyrus because it was close enough. I'm like, oh, it also means like son of sun. So we're like, oh, he's bright. He makes me smile, so it works.
That sentence made you sound like the coolest older kid. Like if I was like 12 and I was at a bookstore and you worked at that bookstore and you were just like, yeah, like the Lupus Canis, I would be like, wow. That was
This guy knows his shit.
no, I love it, man.
Bro,
It's
I'm
'cause-
engaged to a crystal mommy. That's why.
Oh, yes.
So you're a witch in training?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't have my wand yet, but like I think I know like my sun and my rising sign and like
Do you enjoy it?
do I enjoy like the crystal
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. Like, no, is it more so because it makes the lady happy and you love making her happy, or are you also like, this is pretty cool? Like,
No, man, I think it's pretty cool. Plus, like my mom's a little hippy dippy and witchy. It's like most of my family is, so it's not too outside what I'm used to. But like, it's funny when she's like, "Okay, we got to burn the candles because it's like this moon cycle, and I need to collect water and stuff." And I was like, "So wait, what?"
I like meeting people like that because then I feel comfortable explaining how I think the Earth is flat. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, hold up.
No. That's cool, man. And you are a Arizona native?
Yeah, I was actually the first member of my family born here. Everybody else is from Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do the Chicago Bears fans?
I guess relatively. They kind of fell out of like sports watching for a while, so like
I like to fantasize a childhood where I got washed out of sports because that was my entire life. That's like, so it's a question I always ask. Like, it's one of those things where like if you say city first, I have to be like, oh, Vikings fan, you know? But like there's so many people in my life that were just like, no, like we never watched sports. And I was like, dude, that feels like you're not standing up for the Pledge of Allegiance in school. Like I feel like if you don't do it, like you're gonna get in trouble, like by America.
that like so the weird thing was growing up, like I was always the artsy fartsy kid, and then my brother was like the athlete. Like, dude, this kid was a monster when it came to like football and shit. So like he was always doing all that. So we'd watch football here and there and some basketball games every so often. But most of my family's just a bunch of fucking nerds, really.
That sounds nice. I don't know. Do you feel consistently like I feel like nerds always have what would we call it like rivalry, you know? Like it's kind of like nerds, at least in my opinion, are just like I need to know more about this piece of like something. than
Oh,
you
yeah.
do.
There's all.
Oh, the knowledge flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Okay. So like talking about that, I can get into this a little bit. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. So A Song of Ice and Fire. So there's this big contingency between people who just watch the show and people who have read the books. There's always like this back and forth. And like, I can admit I was fucking a gatekeeping asshole for a little while. And then like trying to get my lady into enjoying Game of Thrones. I was like, yeah, you kind of got to chill out because you're coming off as a dick. So like that humbled me a bit.
What do you mean? Oh, like you're coming off as a
Yeah,
dick.
I'm coming off as a dick as far as like, well, that's not how it is in the book and the blah, blah, blah. Like, so you got to take a step back a little bit. But then there's just some stuff that like gets brought up and you're just like, I can't really respond to this without sounding like an asshole, but like, you know what? Just let them enjoy it. It's fine just because like they think one thing, but it is this weird, like constant knowledge flex. Like if you go through like comment sections of any kind of video, like I was catching up on Spider-Man comics and like Comics Explained said one thing wrong and this dude like railed him. He wrote like an essay and I'm like, bro, he's doing a 3-hour video. Chill out.
Right, yeah.
That happened to me the other day. It was on like a Metal Gear forum,
Oh no.
and yeah,
It's Solid as Snake, not
the So it was some guy just like popped in and he was just like, "What's the difference between Solid Snake and Naked Snake?" You know, and I was like, "Oh, let me tell you," you know, and I went into the whole thing and I was the one that was wrong. I misexplained why Solid Snake got old because you know he's just a clone and they aged a little faster. I explained that it was because of the fox die virus, and that's not true. Like that's just something. So some neckbeard went in there and he was just like, actually, you know, he got old because of the cloning process, and you know. And I was like, damn, like I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling so much, just getting mansplained on something you like.
So my problem with that is that there are things that I love, but the problem is that I'm horrible at even friendly debates. Like I feel like as soon as someone just says, I don't think that's right, 9.5 out of 10 times I'm going to be like, you're right, that's not right, that was stupid. You know, so
Are you sure?
yeah,
Sure about that?
and I live with people that do that. And that's my biggest thing. Is like I'll be like, here's a cold and precise way that I think that this goes, and I'm pretty sure this is right. Took me 20 minutes to explain, and then this Christian just, I don't know. Yeah,
Dude, it's rough. There's definitely some times where like I found myself typing out like a whole fucking response. I'm like, okay, now this is getting to a paragraph. I'm like, I should go do literally anything else except this right now.
Is there some hills that you just like believe that you need to die? How about, is there a Game of Hills throne that you'll die on? That's maybe a
Controversial.
Yeah.
That Daenerys' story is not for her to end up on the throne. It's meant for her to lose because Martin likes to subvert expectations, and she literally is a warmonger. And he's a big fucking hippie. He's a hardcore hippie. That's why people are like, well, this person's the best, and they did this and did that. I'm like, dude, he is so anti-war, you don't understand. That's why, like, when they have people going through, like, oh, the common people who are, like, starving, they killed like 5 of their kids and all their goats, so now they're screwed. I'm like, the whole thing isn't to be the biggest, meanest war monster. It's to help the people. And her whole thing is, I deserve the throne. Bitch, you're like 7th in line as it is anyway. Like, and that's a hill I will die on. Is like I used to hate her as a character because like reading her POV, I'm like, you literally don't care about your people. You just like, I want to help people. It's like, no, but you want to help people so you get the chair.
Yeah.
It's not about like actually the people underneath you. It's about, oh, can we feed them bread? It's like, well, I don't like that bitch, so my dragon should burn her down. No.
It's really definitely like in season 7 I'm sorry, season 8 is like when you see like that obvious deterioration where you're kind of like, yeah, and you're like, oh, okay.
Well, like, they make
you won, but
they make a good point. It's like you're cheering for her when she's burning slavers, but if she's burning innocents, why are you still not cheering? And like that's the thing, man. Is like this war, this conquest, this greed, all that shit's awful. Like realistically, all the families suck. I'm a hardcore Stark fan. They still suck. They led a lot of their people to war, made bad decisions, killed most of major families. I'm like, yeah.
Adopted a Mongoloid like Theon.
Oh my god.
So many bad things. That's a good hill, honestly, because I'm inclined to believe you. Usually with lore, I let him do it. Like because I don't just read. I'm a caveman, you know, and like you were talking about how you were really into either the books or like or there's always those people that's either the books or the movies. You remember that picture going around like Facebook when we were like in high school where it was like this is the book and it's like this is what the movie shows you and like it's like they cut out like a DVD. I just remember just being like that's lame, like fuck you. You know what I mean? Like,
see, I always hated that because I was always like, if the movie's like just the tip of the iceberg, like I want to know everything, you know?
Bro, that's like Love and Thunder with me and Thor. Like so the villain in that is Gore the God Butcher, who's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
played by Patrick Baywood.
And like, so his sword and all the shadow shit, that's supposed to be like the symbiote. That's Venom and all that. They used none of that, but they did the teaser at the end of like Far From Home. Sorry if y'all haven't seen that yet. It's been like 3 years. So it's perfect opportunity to set up Venom and the King in Black and all this. Marvel's just like, you know what? Let's not do any of that. I'm just like, all right, man. Like it
seems like they're just trying to like make all the money off like the big titles first, and then
because they were
thinking
digging
about maybe like expanding the universe a little bit.
Yeah, because they were digging a little deep for a while, but then that's because they had to, you know, bring out more of the most popular. But there's so many rabbit holes to go down, but it seems like they're just kind of done.
Yeah, my personal opinion is they fucked up by doing Kang and not following up with Doctor Doom, because then like you can lead into it easier, because then boom, here's Doctor Doom, here's the Fantastic Four, here's the X-Men. Oh, he's doing all these multiversal crazy things. Oh, who the fuck is Kang?
Yeah.
And then you do it down the line. But like, I know the guys behind Secret Invasion didn't read Secret Invasion. They're just like, but that's a memorable title, so let's just call the TV show that.
Yeah.
Has like 5% to do with the actual story. And it like, I don't know, dude. It's just one of those things. Like, I know people don't dive hard into lore, but I think that's why writing teams require, like, you need 7 fucking nerdy dudes like me, and then like 3 normal fucking people that are just like, okay, you're going off for an hour about a side character.
Unless you're the Halo TV show, in which case they involved nobody that played that game.
Bro, I'm not a big Halo guy, but I listened to like a breakdown from one of my favorite YouTubers on it, and I was like, holy shit, I'd be pissed if I was a Halo fan.
Well, he was telling me, he was like, dude, because it's like, how many years in the future?
Halo?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I don't remember.
Just hundreds, right?
Yeah, maybe.
But he was like, I was like, how's it going? He's like, there's a Toyota Tacoma, and like they're using AK-47s. Jesus. Like, it was like, oh, so good start, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. See, that's why I choose not to like the point that I was trying to make is that, like, especially with like Lord of the Rings or anything 40K, you know, stuff like that. It's like, as long as there's a game behind it, I can focus on the competitiveness of the game. So I play Magic the Gathering. I've been playing it for years, my entire life, and like there is a huge story. The main characters are planeswalkers. They plane chase, which means they like jump through multiverses, you know. So it's a pretty cool, you know.
Yeah.
And the card arts themselves tell stories,
Yes.
you know. I don't give a shit about any of it, and I've been playing this game for almost 20 years. Like, I know of it, but like I think it's one of those things where sometimes nerds get so frustrated. I'm not trying to, you know, toot my own horn or anything, but at one point I was pretty good at the game, and I like to have casual fun, unless I'm with him, in which case it's for blood, you know. But like, you know, but with like people, whatever, it's like I'm like, okay, I do this, that, and go for lethal, which, you know, I win. And like one guy was like, yeah, he went 0-2. It was best of 3, so he went 0-2, and he's about to. I'm like, hey man, good game, and he goes, it just sucks because do you know that Nicol Bolas kills Jace in the lore? And like, I cannot believe. And he tried to essentially just say like,
I should have won.
I should have won because
The lore said so.
it literally feels like he said because the Bible said. You know, like,
I'm supposed to win.
yeah, so like I'm sure he was just being funny, but if he wasn't, he played it off so well. And it's those nerds that just drive me crazy. It's like when I play, like, you know, it's like I don't care when he does it, but when we play 40K, I got into it because he's my best friend and he got into it. And then I was like, oh, like they look cool. And
Yeah.
that's just, I know about basic things, but I don't know like what he knows. So when we're playing the game, he's like, did you know that when this happens, this actually happens? And these guns, I'm just like, wow, man. And I don't mean to be a dick about it, because I'm just, it literally just goes like cool guns, and then I throw away like the rest.
Go bang.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you know, like he's told me about like the big knights over there and like all their stuff and all, just big robot.
Dude.
You know, like,
So what's funny about that is like I've never played 40K, but I got real deep into the lore after like they fucked over Henry Cavill, and he's like, oh, I'm doing a 40K show. So I was like, let me figure what this is about, because like a lot of Infuri's music is based off of 40K, which is really fucking
awesome.
cool, because the singer's got paintings of like his miniatures and shit on his Instagram. But like I was going through all this stuff and like D&D campaigns and like Baldur's Gate and shit. So like our actual new song, our single that we dropped on Halloween, I kind of aped the name from a campaign in Baldur's Gate, which was like Carrion Crown, but I'm like, that sounds so fucking sick.
Yeah.
So like I've just been doing a hardcore nerd deep dive into finding things that I can kind of pull over into like the band thing. Like I really want to use from like the Space Wolves from 40K, like the Canis Helix, the thing that makes them turn into fucking werewolves. I want to use that for a really sick song, but we got to get to the point to like write that piece that it is earned.
Have you gotten to, do you know what a demon kulaba is?
I have not messed much with the Chaos Gods. Like I've just like, what the fuck is going on? This snake thing that's pretty. It like
Oh, that's Fulgrim. Yeah. Fulgrim's our sexy boy. A demon kulaba is how they make Chaos Space Marines. And, you know, normal Space Marines, they go in like a sarcophagus or they get like the medicine or whatever. Chaos Space Marines, they use a lady, like literally impregnate a normal human-sized lady with a Space Marine gene seed and a baby, or no, it's like a grown man, and they like cut her up and like, you know, re-sew her back together with a full man inside of her womb, and they inject her with all this shit and like feed her through a tube, and like it's really fucking brutal, dude.
Dude, 4K is a fucked up
Oh,
universe.
yeah, it's fucking insane.
And then she gives birth to a fucking chaos, an 8 foot tall chaos Space Marine.
See, that sounds like an Infant Annihilator album.
Yeah,
Alone, like,
Yeah, dude.
That sounds fucking cool.
And this is something that I've been actually really excited to talk about because, like, you know, I know that we haven't spent a lot of time together, but even at your shows and the little times I get to talk to you, it's like I would say, like, in another like reality, you would be like close, like with us. Like
Oh,
you,
dude.
there's so many things that I want to talk about, and it's funny because you were saying that like you get a lot of musical inspiration, and like I'm not, you know, we don't really jam or anything like that, but I jam just when I can, and like I'll bring them. Like I've tried so hard to be like, dude, we should make a whole album just about like the Primarchs.
yes.
And I'm like, this one could be called For the Emperor. And it's like, it's just like thrash metal, you know, like. And I was like, are we gonna get sued like if we do this?
But like, if you do it the right way, because like I'm sure you guys have seen like those tables where it's like it has the Primarchs, and it's like, oh, which subgenre of
Yeah.
metal are they? Like, if you did an album like that, and each song was specifically like catered to like one of the Primarchs, that would be so fucking sick. But the thing that is cool about that is like, so Michael Coleman's our new vocalist. He's joined a couple months ago. Like it's weird because he was our fill-in dude for a while. And then we did a bunch of tryouts, and then world worked out the way it should have, so he came back into the fold. Dude's still super fucking nerdy. Like, him and Aaron are way tighter on the anime stuff, but like when we start talking about concepts and coming up with song ideas, he's like, dude, I got this and this. Like, we have an unreleased track. May or may not be playing it at our December headliner. Just throwing that out there. Personally, it's my favorite piece of music I've ever contributed to. So when he first officially like joined the band, he was listening to our back catalog of stuff, and within like, I say 48 fucking hours, he's like, dude, I got lyrics to this. This is the concept. And we're like, what the fuck? This was like a missing piece. Like, it was odd to, it's like painting with a new color. That's like, that's how I've always looked at like the whole band aspect, is everyone has their own strengths and things that they bring into it. But with his like nerdy background and how he feels about like certain inflections and shit like that, he has a lot of cool concepts that like get tackled as far as like the songs go. So I think, I don't want to talk about the working title. I can tell you the working title of the song, but not the actual title.
Okay.
So the working title is Beans. Okay. That is all I'll
word
give you.
beans.
Code word Beans.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, man. And like when you can combine those two things, and that's why like I've learned that a lot of in the metal genre. This, you know, would you guys consider yourself death metal?
Okay, so it's funny with that. 'Cause I've gone back and forth with it for years, man. Because like growing up, I was a shithead. I was very much a genre shithead. I was one of those fucking edgelords that if it's not shreddy, it's not real metal. And I hated the term deathcore. Fucking hated it.
Right.
Growing up and kind of realizing some different things, I'd say we are a melodic deathcore band.
Cool. Well, especially in that type of genre, it's like there's I mean, you had so many influences growing up. I mean, you had Lord of the Rings, you had the like Lord of the Rings cartoon, you had just like fucking even like what I'm saying is that like you just had like monsters and like wizards and fucking demons, and all of that just sounds like perfect for metal music because that's what they did in the generations before, and then you have fucking Rush, which is just like literally D&D music for nerds, you know, like it's always been a cool concept.
So bad to do a T-shirt that's one of those old like 80s like mural arts where it's like a wizard and like a fucking chick just grabbing his leg, and for some reason there's like tiger flying. Like, I wanted an Exiled shirt just like that, just for the aesthetic.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. That's how I grew into like campy doom bands like Bongzilla and like, you know, like Sleep and like, you know, it's just like because you know like where their influences come from, and you just imagine, it's like a warlock just like you know, like it's so cool. Like, so I can hear a lot of it in your guys' music, in your album arts for sure. Now, you've been together since 2000 and hold on, tell me. Because you are an original member.
Yes.
2014.
Close. 2013. So weirdly enough, dude, like I thought about this the other day because I was talking with my lady. I've been in the band with both Aaron and Alex, the other original members, since 2013, and I've been with her since 2014. I'm like, this is like the longest relationship I've had with my like, and it's my bandmates.
Yeah.
And so like they'll mess with her about it. It's like we've been with him longer. It's like it's cool because we've gone through so many changes, and like with member changes, it was always weird. Like when Mike came in to play bass, he was a fill-in, but dude tackled the material immediately, and it was awesome because like we had a lot of people that are like, bro, this is a little bit outside my wheelhouse. So then like getting Coleman in was like it felt like a good fit. It wasn't like we had to get like that weird awkward period of like, let's jam a few times and figure out how this feels. Like he kind of just like flooded in perfectly.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
You know, that was, you know, when Christian joined the show, I mean, we've been friends for a long, long time, but yeah, that's always cool. Is that like just as soon as he was the official host, it was like so easy. And I love this guy. You know, that's I don't know. Christian's kind of almost like my longest relationship. I mean,
That's right.
I think Courtney beat you by about a year though. So
Fair.
yeah, but
No.
no,
No.
Lovers
You and I have
quarrel.
known each other since 8th grade, sir.
but were we friends?
We're friends.
Were we friends?
Yeah, I gave you a piggyback ride
He
at Chris Shamley's
couldn't
party.
stand me. For the record, he thought I was so stupid.
I'm just saying, like, one day I cut my hair into a mohawk. A couple days later, this guy's got a mohawk.
Bro, I'm just saying we just need to start a whole new genre of films that are just bromances. It's like they didn't get along, and then like they're the best of
Just bring
friends
it
at
back.
the end of the movie.
That's the genre we need to bring back. There's nothing better than a camp. We could do that.
Yeah.
We've been talking about a basement dweller movie. I think I wanted Mike Tyson to play me, and you were gonna have
Oh, fuck. I don't
was
remember.
it Danny Trejo?
Danny Trejo, I think, yeah.
Okay, I would totally fucking watch that.
I just thought it'd be cool to do that. You know, we talked about being like in a movie, and it's like, yeah, dude, come on.
I
Mike
just
Tyson.
picture just Mike Tyson. Just, you see the planeswalkers.
I have this dream to be on a podcast. Yes, I have bada bing on my knuckles. What of it? That'd be sweet, right? If you could have anyone play you in a movie about your life, who would it be and why?
That's a good question, dude. I mean, like, I got tortured all throughout high school with, like, you look like Corbin Blue, so, like, that's definitely not...
Dude, giving him a career again, that'd be sick.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but, like, fuck, dude, I don't know. I really don't fucking know.
Did you really get bullied for that?
Like, yeah. Like, dude, okay, so, like, here was the worst part about going to high school.
Hey,
was
do
me.
a dance, Corbin.
Seriously, man. So, like, I'm
Here's the
on the
jump rope.
I joined the football team. My mom asked me to. I was like, fine, fuck it. I'll get into shape. It'll be good for me. So I'm on the football team, and everyone always thought it was weird. Like, you're a black guy that likes metal music? I'm like,
my
you know,
God.
Jimi Hendrix plays good too. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. The origin of rock music. Okay, fuck it. It's not worth it. But it was that, and it's like, oh, come on, Corbin, jump in. Jump. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, I've never even fucking seen those movies. And the worst part was I dated a girl at one point in high school that dated me specifically because I fucking looked like Corbin Blue.
Damn.
Didn't like me, like the things I was into, but dated me because I looked like Corbin Blue.
Wow. I think you owe it to yourself. I think closure is finally watching. Episode 108, we invite DJ back, and we walk doing a live viewing party of Jump
Just
In.
do the whole fucking trilogy.
Man, that's rough. It's also funny that you said that you did football because your mom wanted you to do football.
Yeah, dude.
I had the opposite. That's why I think it's like so crazy because like I wanted to play football and my mom was like, no. So I'm like, oh, you fucker.
My mom always thought it was like weird. Her and I have gotten much better about this like later on down the line because like my brother did football from a super young age, and then I was really into music. Like it was weird for me to even have her come out to shows in the early days because it was like there's a lot of flashing lights, everybody smells. You're probably not going to be able to have a conversation with the person next to you. I'm like, but this is like where I feel most comfortable. Like the reason I was always more into music as a whole, and I think this is why like Aaron, Alex, and I have like stuck together for so long, and we've been able to have the connection with Coleman and Mike is like, that's the Super Saiyan moment.
Yeah.
It's like playing and the shit just feels real good,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Like, and it's just like, that's the shit right there. And I've heard people say like, you guys look so happy, and like the faces you're making, you can tell like you guys are just doing your thing. I'm like, and it felt like the perfect mix of things.
Phenomenal stage performance. I mean, just to say, you know, to bring up the band again.
Thanks,
I mean,
man.
you guys have always like just good timings and just good little like signature moves. Now that I've seen you so many times, like I'm starting to notice like, yeah, man, lots of chemistry up there.
Dude, we try. And like, that's the thing is like Aaron's will try to drill us sometimes. He's like, guys, we got to move more. I'm like, but bro, this part's hard. He's like, then move on a part that's not hard. So like the worst thing I have a problem with though is like Mike doesn't move as much as he used to is like, so Mike and I share a side of the stage. So he'll move back and forth with his wireless rig, and sometimes with his other bass, like he would swing and nearly hit me in the head. My problem is I almost run into Coleman sometimes because he's moving back and forth and stuff, and like sometimes I'll play and I'm like, yeah, we look great, and then I go to like do a hair whip and I'm like, holy shit, I almost took out my vocal.
Yeah, that is scary. You mentioned like that feeling though. Like it's so crazy because I haven't performed live music in a long time, but even when there was like 15 people in that crowd, like it feels so cool.
Dude.
And my girlfriend and I were watching this documentary called Trainwreck, which was it's a Woodstock '99 documentary.
Oh, cool.
And they talk about like the first big band. Well, they were all big, but like the closer of the first night of the festival was Korn. And so like the way that they describe it is just like 250,000 people. And they start playing like Blind, like that, and so it's just like you could feel that. And John Davis was on the documentary, and he was like, "Yeah, dude," he's like, "There's no drug like on the planet that will ever compare to just like fucking shredding like that in front of that many people."
Dude, there's nothing. Like I remember there was was it the Cattle Cap show? Yeah, I was having a lot of rough stuff in my personal life. This is a few years back. And we were playing a song, another fucking unreleased one, which might be being played. Dude, we have a back catalog of like a whole fucking album. And that was the cool thing when Coleman came in. He's like, yo, I can do all of this. He's like, this stuff's basically ready. Cool, let me bang these out. So
nice.
And I was just like, I was having a bad time in my life, man. And then we played this new song, and I actually had a solo in it, and I fucking nailed it. And I was like, I'm on stage with my best friends, playing an opening for Cattle Decapitation, which is already a fucking hype moment for me, and I nailed the fuck out of this solo. And it was just like, it was unbelievable. Like that just sense that unity. And it's really cool to see the crowd, and like sometimes when people were mouthing stuff back, because like I feel bad with like we get a new vocalist in the band, like, yeah, what are the lyrics here? It's like, shit, I know I go da 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 da, and he says something, but like seeing people yell it back, or like when they know when certain sections are coming up, that's always been the thing that's been trippiest to me. Is like when there's certain parts in the song that we built up, like, nah, this is the part where you go ham. This is the part that's gonna set off the audience, and I see people in the crowd starting to get hyped before it drops, and I'm like, dude, this is fucking cool. Like, if I could tell 13-year-old me that this is a thing, he would never believe it. Yeah. I'd like slap him, like, practice to a fucking metronome. Right. But like that'd basically be all I tell myself.
Yeah, dude, it's like fucking it's like real magic. You know, when you really think about it. Like you just get a whole room just jumping. That's fucking sick.
Yeah, we'll never know what that's like.
Huh?
We'll never know what that's like.
Dude, no. I don't know. You could like you guys could do like live fucking Double Toasted does it all the time.
I like to think about like if I was going to do a live show, the only thing that would give me real feeling is feeling like Arsenio Hall, like where just people are just like yeah, like going, you know what I mean? Like I want to just sit down with Christian, and like just I want to hear like inside jokes, like just being yelled like all right,
Yeah.
But like that's the kind of thing we always joke about. Is like that's going to be our legacy if this picks up, where it's like we look at someone like you in a band, it's like you have the casual. Oh my God, it's oh my God, it's DJ from Exile. Like, dude, like you've been amazing. Like, wow, could I get a picture? Where it's like Christian could just be shopping for milk at the store, and someone's just like, oh, dude, basement dweller, oh fuck my ass, man. Like fuck my ass. That's gonna be it. I don't know. Like they just like say some dumb shit like that. So it's like that's our legacy. It's just be clowns forever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad legacy, man. Like as far as like people being like stoked to meet me, I've had weird experiences. The first time I definitely remember it happening is I was in Castle with my partner at the time. Nice. This dude's like, you're in that band, and I was like, this is the weirdest place to get recognized. Second time was like at a dispensary, and I was like, well, at least like I know who we're playing to. Yeah. And like it's crazy because like I can see with the band members themselves, there's like groups of friends that cross over and stuff, but then like there's a wide range of people who like I'm not super familiar with. So it's like, oh yeah, I've been in the band with Coleman for some time, but like I don't know all the people in his like catalog of friends, but it's cool to help expand that audience and like meet more people and like just get more music out there. Because honestly, man, after the plague, that shit was real touch and go. Like we had a lot like just money issues and just internal stress and like trying to get back into shows and everything. And then we did part ways with Anthony, and like that was hard too because like I love that dude. He's still like a brother to me. I'd die for that motherfucker. Yeah. He's still like my road dog, but it was a good time for us both to go our separate ways as units. And then literally when I talk about Coleman coming into the band, it's like, oh, like he just like came down from a light, dude.
Yeah.
Hi, Basement Dwellers. This is just a friendly reminder that if you'd like to be a supporter of the show, you can do so at our Patreon at patreon.com/basementdwellerproductions. We have 3 tiers of subscription. You can do 5, 10, or 15, also known as the Basement Bay. If you do the $15 subscription, you do also get a one-of-one art piece by yours truly. We'd really appreciate it. We could definitely use the support. So, love you guys.
Man,
Hell yeah.
that's awesome. Man, it's cool just keeping it alive, man. Like, I've seen so many bands, mine included, just come and go in the lifespan of Exiled. And like to see you guys keep going is so fucking sweet. Did you guys get any music inspiration from COVID?
Okay, so
I feel like that was a big thing with metal bands.
no. So
Okay.
like what happened during COVID, there was a period of time we were just banging out songs, dude. So like we had an EP that released, I think, in 2020 called Novum Finum, and it's a new end in Latin. And that was a concept album. And essentially that was the thing on a spaceship and dead space is basically what it is. And so then like people were really digging it and everything. And then we had someone reach out to us like, hey man, so I've been having this debate with my buddy. Is this album about COVID? And I'm like, no, did you ever watch The Thing or play Dead Space? Like, it's not about COVID, but I'm like, well, it is. There's a virus and it takes over. I'm like, fuck, we wrote a COVID album. I'm like, but we didn't write a COVID album.
I think about like one of the tropes that I always think about with like 80s thrash metal is some kind of surgery.
Oh god.
There are so many albums written about just like surgery with no anesthesia, open heart surgery, brain surgery, fucking sickness, you know? So I was like, I wonder if like that, like if COVID brought back just like a new core.
Oh, dude, I think it definitely
This
did.
COVID core.
There's definitely like so many times like people like, oh, we're gonna write this song about this virus and like artwork and stuff that's simulated off of it. I'm like, I don't know about that, man. That's just
How many would you say everyone contributes equally when it comes to like song names?
I think song names, yeah, everyone does. It's kind of like we'll have the working title and then we'll get the lyrics. And like that's the cool thing is with Coleman is like he gets them to us right away. So we kind of have an idea of what we're looking at and like the vibe we're going for. Like we're very particular about words we choose when we're trying to like name names. Like there's a running joke within Exiled. We have too many songs that start with the letter C. Because there's Consternation, there's Carrying Crown, there's Celestial Unrest. Like there's too many band names that start or like song names that start with C. So we'll all kind of like sit with it for a little while, and usually we'll go. One of us will shoot out an idea, and then everyone else will kind of shoot something around that, and we'll play the song a few more times and see how we feel about it, and then we'll go over the lyrics some more and see like, okay, so it's like sometimes like it's nice because even though everybody kind of has their specific role in the band, everyone does contribute when it comes to like naming things and putting it out there. And then even like when it comes to art. So like if I were to break it down, Aaron and Alex do a lot of the composition and arrangement. We all do contribute musically and contribute bits and pieces and riffs and things like that. And then art is mostly on my end. And then Mike and Aaron get a lot of the like rhythms in. And then now that Coleman's coming in, the difference between he and Anthony is that with Anthony, there was a lot of like vocal forethought first as far as the arrangement of the song. With Coleman, there is definitely this aspect of, okay, am I trying to let the instruments ride out here, or am I trying to complement what the instruments are doing? And it's really nice to work with that.
We can't do that. As soon as Christian's like, I just don't know, man. I don't know if that.
I would not be able to explain a single thing that you explained. I'd be like, it just don't sound right, man. Like,
Dude, sometimes like
This
there's
just sounds fuck, bro.
there's just sometimes we're sitting there and we're like, shit. And like I've realized getting older and like doing some personal growth and shit, communication is such key that I'm way better at communicating to 4 other dudes sometimes than I am like my own family, my fiance. And it's like just kind of figuring out the right word choice to help explain a situation or go into it without like rustling any feathers or it coming across or being read a wrong way.
Right.
yeah.
And like being open to criticism and stuff. Cause there's like, fuck, dude, we'll go through so many variations of a song. Like we'll come up with a riff and like, fuck, that's cool. And then like the next practice, we're like, this does not fit. And it doesn't mean that like the riff is bad, but it's like, okay, cool. Let's store this away elsewhere. Like, and we cannibalize a lot of our own songs. Like,
Sure.
I guess it helps that not everything's been put out there. So it's like, people won't know.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, but it's also good to have the skill that like 3 people don't don't just cannibalize the other person. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you have to have some kind of like, because as soon as you allow one person to feel unwanted, it's like that's when like the Gollum effect takes in. You know,
Yeah.
like you're just like, oh, they hate me. Like this sucks. Like
We definitely try to avoid that as much as possible because like we kind of have this sense of like if we feel that vibe in the room while we're practicing, like yo, how are we all feeling about this? And then we'll go around and talk about like how we're feeling about it, or if like we got something else on our mind that's kind of distracting us from it. It's a nice, healthy environment to like be in, and I really, really appreciate that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to compare it to us. Like, how do we do this? Like, they're so communicative. Sometimes I feel like when we have band members on, I feel like this is like couples therapy, where it's just like,
Bro, that's what it is.
do we not, Christian? Do we need to start doing that?
Do we need couples therapy?
Yeah, like the other day, like I just get really obsessive compulsive. I just become like a crazy mom sometimes with some things, and so I literally had to just be like a pouty baby about it. And then like for the first time in a long time, I was just like, let's go outside, and I was, because I hate confrontation. You know what I mean? But like he's so cool about it. He's like, dude, just
tell him what it was about.
yeah. That's
No,
it.
I'm saying you tell him what it was about.
Oh, it was about because I wanted the couch moved. And I wanted the couch moved because it would make me really happy.
He
if
was
the couch-
like on his way out the door to go to the gym or something, right? And he was like, "Hey, can you move that couch over here when I get back?" And I had like just woken. I actually hadn't slept that day, so I was like, "All right," but I wanted to like tattoo myself, and you know, I just wasn't like in the mind space to like want to really do anything today. And it wasn't today, but then he was like, yeah, like as he was leaving, he was like, hey, can you move that couch? And I was just like, yeah, I guess, you know. And then he left, and then he came back, and the couch wasn't moved, and I passed out because I hadn't slept, right? So
I want you to know that it really did feel like it was like my husband of 15 years, and I was just like, I just got
Weaponized
home.
incompetence.
well, because we were gonna do an episode, and I went up to him, and I was just like, hey, I was like, do you want to start setting up, or I was like, I can move the couch right now. He was like, oh, you're gonna move the couch, and I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, I already did it. And I was like, all right, man. Well, I'll talk to you when you're in a better mood. And then he came out, and he was just like, let's go talk.
Dude, and sometimes it gets like that, and it's like it's learning people have different communicative styles. And like that was something I think we had to work out internally as a band to kind of get a handle on, and it helped me out with like other aspects of my life. Like there are some people, I'm the kind of person that if you tell me there's a problem, I need to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Because my brain's going to catastrophize and
Yeah.
run off and make every worst scenario. But there's also members of the band who are like, dude, I need to sit on this. I need to chill. I need to compose myself, go through how I really feel about this before I talk.
I mean, it really is a relationship.
Oh, it totally
I mean,
is.
you have to. I mean, you guys, you know, it can't just be about the music.
Oh, no.
You know, it's like you know, you think about like all those like legendary bands like the Eagles. They fucking hate each other now.
We
You know what I mean?
try
Like-
very hard. Like it's been difficult with current schedules, but we will try to organize a day where like we just hang out and like maybe we'll talk about music or like stuff we're listening to, but otherwise it's just the five of us chilling and trying to be friends and not think about like the work aspect of it. Because when stuff does get into crunch time, like we had like an off period because we didn't have a vocalist. We weren't taking shows and stuff. But then we got a vocalist, and then we recorded some stuff. We played some shows and played some really fucking great shows. And it was just trying to make sure everybody's ready to get running again, just because it had been a delay in time. And it's like making sure we're all coming together, we're all in the same thought process, but it's not just a business exchange. We're not just, okay, well, I'm going to go hang out with these people who play instruments with me, but like, no, those are my brothers, those are my good friends. Like when we all have like shit happening in life, we try to tell everyone, because it's like, this is A, going to affect the band, B, it's going to fuck with me, so like don't think it's me upset with you guys at all. I just got my own shit going on. And when stuff is really intense, we're like, man, you take care of that, thank you for telling us, we'll handle everything here on this end.
Man, it's so professional.
Oh, you guys
That
are
is
good at
so
that.
sexy what you just said, dude. Like honestly, man, like we talk about it every now and again that like like sometimes I really do feel like I personally direct this show sometimes to like a ask a big brother kind of thing. Like the last episode we did, we talked about our style and just like how we give a shit. That, you know, you got to give a shit. You know, you got to shower, you got to shave, you know? And so it's like, it's kind of like the same thing with even dudes our own age. Like, hey, man, like he has to tell me, he's like, if you just say what you need to say and just not be miserable for the next 7 hours, and then when you feel ready, like, I'm like, what are you talking about? You know? feels so much better. And I feel like the fact that you guys do that with a 5-piece group is really impressive.
Yeah, dude, because it's one of those things I think I can say for myself in a personal sense is I tie so much of my identity into Exiled and into my music. Like that's the representation of me. That's my legacy. If God forbid something happens to me, stepping out the door, whatever the fuck, that is my stamp on this earth. So we make sure to have that best representation forward, no matter what it takes. And if stuff has to take a little bit more time because like we feel like we're not putting our best foot forward and it just feels the general soul ick,
Yeah.
we try to work that out to make sure that like no one's feeling that going forward, because then it's like we have a broken piece in the machine,
Right.
and it's not going to be able to keep going.
We don't like that. Oh, that was a good way to say it. It's like I felt that like right. I'm like, ugh, like when you like that like gunk. In
Yeah,
your,
dude,
in your
like the
chest, dude.
soul ick where you're just like, I'm not fucking feeling this, man. Like, and so speaking of that, we had a not like a soul ick situation. We had a piece that we're working on, and we got some other songs. So if you guys want to hear all these new songs, you definitely want to come out on December 15th to Pub Rock.
Bada boom.
We'll be playing with Amaya, who's directly supporting us, Shores of Ithaca, Thrash Can. It's going to be a fucking great show.
Can't
but
wait.
one of the songs that we have prepared for that, we went through several variations of it. So there's other songs that are newer that I think we were feeling a little bit more than this piece, and it just took a while to get to it. And it was hard because it was like we couldn't put our finger on it. Like, just why is this one not hitting the same way? What is making us not attach to this piece the way we should? So we really sat with it and went through it and like, what do we want from it? What are we trying to bring forth in this piece? So then we were able to go in and like actually pull it together. And like now this is one of my more favorited pieces to play. It's still a bit new, but it just took some time of us breaking it down and really like going into like, why do we all feel this way about this piece? Or why do some of us feel it stronger than the others of us feel it?
Man, I'm feeling really relaxed right now. These are some real words, man.
Man, we try because like it's a stressful environment. Like I already know some of the things we're trying to push other members to do. Like speed is a big fucking thing. Like that song I was talking about, Beans, that shit's 240 BPM. And like I already know
Fast beans.
fast beans, and like there's a certain run in there. I was like, motherfucker, I cannot nail this the way I want to. And I know there's certain 16th sections that Aaron's like, this is a bitch to get through, but we encourage each other because it's like, man, like no one's gonna discourage you or say like you're not pulling your weight, because like we know you're busting your ass to get this done. This shit's hard. We know it's difficult.
Yeah. Dude. So do you feel like everyone, you know how you can make art in any kind of mood, you know, it's kind of like drinking, like no matter, regardless of what you're feeling, you could have a drink, you know, it's like, so if you're sad, you make sad music, you know, and stuff like that. Do you feel like you guys collectively do get more stuff done when it's more of like, because it's funny to think about a positive feeling with the kind of music that you make. Like it reminds me of an episode of Metalocalypse where they erase, they fire Murder Face. But because they did that, they made like 5 albums. Like they just killed it. But they're listening to it and they're like, oh, this sounds too happy. Like we sound like we're way too happy right now. But it's like, you know, death metal. So they get rid of it. So like, do you feel like most of it really is like you guys got to be all in a great collective mood? Or do you feel like there is some songs in the catalog that because someone was going through it, they made something a specific way?
No, there's definitely pieces that some members were going through situations and you can feel it in the song. And I think that's like the nice thing is playing through it and kind of talking about, yo, what was going on in your head? What were you thinking? What was happening in your life at this point? It kind of lets us get into that vibe. I think we try to avoid being in a negative headspace because a bad habit I picked up when I was younger is I'm only really good at creating stuff if I'm in a bad place. And I really want to encourage anybody who does anything creative, don't fall into that trap. It's because you do generate great things because there's a lot of emotion behind it, but relying on that is going to develop a very negative coping mechanism for life. Right. And so it's trying to find that good vibe of like, all right, cool, this piece feels really fucking good, or like, man, I got something going on with my family and this inspired this. And we're like, all right, so how can we help make this feel triumphant? Like the funny thing is, I always tell Alex when he writes leads and shit, bro, you write like powerful Final Fantasy music. He's like, I've never fucking played those games. I'm like, but like, you just hear me out, man. You play some really cool like Final Fantasy, like I got this kind of music sometimes. And like, it is weird because I'm like, have we written anything that's like necessarily positive? Everything is usually kind of like dark or more introspective.
But it could be dark. Because I was going to ask you, like, do you feel like you get a lot of work done in a like art wise, like in a specific mindset? And if so, does it affect like, can you like, what am I trying to say? Like, can you be sad and paint something happy, or like vice versa?
So, I mean, yeah, it's like a weird like cocktail of like you kind of got to be like if you're sad, then something also kind of has to happen to like also give you like some kind of like motivation, if that makes sense. At least for me, like recently, I haven't painted in a while. I painted this like 2 weeks ago, and it was just like a spur of the moment thing. I was just like, I don't know what I was watching Shorzy, like hockey players and stuff, and how they're always like fucking each other up. So I really liked that, like, like the bloody face, like, the fucked up mouth look. So I was like, this is going to look hard. So I like painted that. And it was just, like I said, dude, it could be like a fucking drop of a hairpin, dude. Just like, I'm ready. I need to paint now.
Yeah. I mean, just that's an interesting way that you put it about, because you don't want to get addicted to a specific emotion. And people would even think, well, what about happy? It's like, well, now you're only creating things when you're in the best mood of your life. So you feel like if you have a bad day, like, oh, well, there goes my career. And it's like an infinite, so that's really interesting because I never really thought about it, but there are like artists of all kinds that really, like, I was thinking of like fucking Ride the Lightning was about like suicide, and it's just like, fuck, like the month or like the few months it took to make that album, like how horrible was it in that room,
dude,
compared to Steal My Sunshine. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I always just imagine like the five of you guys, and it's just like you come in, you're like, "Hey, dudes," and everyone's just ready and brooding, and just like, "Hey,"
Dude, like that's the funniest thing is you would imagine we are super like all the time, but like we're really not. The thing I've always appreciated probably about the metal community is that like everyone's just a big fucking nerd.
Yeah,
everyone's just like really dorky and kind of goofy, and then we just happen to write really fucked up shit. The thing I have really appreciated recently is like Aaron's been on a real fucking drive lately about like creating stuff. Like, so we have a back catalog of stuff that's coming out. We might even be filming a music video here very shortly.
Ooh,
yeah, that's gonna be fun. But he's been on this really creative drive, and he's like, dude, I gotta get something out, and like he'll just blast something out on the drums, and Alex is like, you know what, I actually have something for that, and then he starts playing, and it's cool to have like a conductor sometimes when it comes to a certain idea, but it is good to avoid, like you were talking about, those pitfalls, because it's like I can only create when I'm in a super great mood. I can only create when I'm in a shit mood. And
when I'm super horny, right?
Yeah, dude. And like, so I went through it recently, and there was this August Burns Red song a while ago, and like I hated it, but I couldn't articulate why I hated it. It's called Creative Captivity. And it's just this little instrumental piece, and it would irk the fuck out of me. And my buddy at the time is like, dude, why do you hate this piece so much? I'm like, because that concept is the most fucking frightening thing to me. Yeah. It's like, I want to create, I want to write, and I can't fucking do anything. And it's just, that's the worst thing I think you can imbue on a fucking artist is like, yeah, here's all the tools, here's everything you want.
Go do it.
No fucking creativity.
That's the worst, man. Pacing the floor back and forth, like, ugh. Like I remember when I was doing comedy, like that was the worst feeling of just like knowing, because you would do the same joke 5 times a week every week, because you have to nail it, right?
Yeah.
But there were times that you really did want to challenge yourself to do like a new set, like 5 minutes. What is that? 3 jokes, like easy. And I just remember sitting down with a beer at like 9:30, and it was 3:30 a.m. and I had nothing written, and I was like, I think I should probably go to bed now. Like that's horrible. It's kind of like the opposite of the feeling of being on stage, It's like you feel so alone.
Dude, you feel like a spotlight's on you, and literally every person, it's just Nelson. Like, that's what it feels like. You're like, this is the fucking worst thing ever.
That's one of the things that really attracted me to Warhammer, actually, because, like, me being an artist and a painter, it's like there's a template there, you know? It's like, it's not so much like paint this, it's more just like, because you could paint, blood angels a million different kinds of ways, they're red.
Yeah.
But it's like, how are you going to paint them red? How are you going to highlight it? How are you going to shade them, how are you going to add the little decals on them? So it's like, for me, like when I was in, like, when I get slumped like that, like for art, I love painting Warhammer minis, because I'm just like, I'm familiar with it. It's already there. I know what I got to do. I just got to hammer it out, and it kind of just gets those like juices flowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a great feeling.
I think with me, man, sometimes it'll happen to the point like I won't always have a riff on mind, and like that's probably the shit that irks me and feels the shittiest is when like I can't contribute like musically, and like sometimes I'll be in a work meeting and like a random word will pop in my head. I'm like, oh fuck, and then it's like a couple lines of a song or something here, and like I gotta send this
That's
to
what
the
I was
guys
actually
right
about
away.
to ask you. Is like, is there a lot of times in your life where you're at the grocery store and you're just kind of like, fuck, shit, like,
Dude, I was walking my dogs and picking up shit, and I was like, "Oh fuck, that's a cool concept there." Like my brain's just going off in random directions. I'm like, "Okay, shit." Like, and it's forcing creativity does not work. I feel like, and then it'll strike you in the most random of times. I think the next worst feeling next to creative captivity is like if you're getting ready to like go to sleep, and you just can't sleep, so you're like you're settling in. And your brain's just like, what about this? You're like, that's fucking cool. But you're like, I don't want to get up and start doing stuff because then I'm not going to sleep, but then I'm going to forget what the fuck I just thought of.
Right.
I believe like I always teeter on like the thought of like religion and stuff like that, but I will say that the one thing that keeps me somewhat of a believer is just the pure like eureka feeling. Like the sense of creativity in your own mind is I'm just like, come on, man. Like that is like, I'm sure you do it all the time like I do. You're just laying and you're like, like just
Yeah,
like,
but kind of the same way because I'm up all night, so that it always hits me in the middle of the night. I'm like, fuck.
It's 5 hours later.
Yeah.
I've gotten up just to like for the show. Like I've gotten up like out of a dead sleep, like just at like 4 a.m, just like need intro better, and then I just back out. So yeah.
One of the best things, and I appreciate this so much about the guys in the band, is we will mouth guitar bits all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like there'll be nothing going on in the band chat. Like we're all just like working on our own stuff, just going through the normal day. And Aaron's like, yo, check this out. And like has a whole like 15-second voice message. And we're like, okay, wait a second. Okay, got it. We can fuck around with this. Like, and I just like how everybody throws into the pot. It's a good feeling because I never wanted to be like when I was coming up, dude. I never wanted to be in a band like you were saying, like they fucking hate each other. Like I can't stand a lot of their music now, but the thing I always liked was like Avenged Sevenfold. Those guys always seem like the best of friends. And I was like, that's all I want to do when I get into a band.
I want to be like Sinister.
Yeah,
Did you want the guitar as a kid too?
I did, bro. I had the fucking fingerless gloves and shit for a little bit, and then I was like, I look really weird. Like, there's a very cringy photo. It's probably still on my fucking Facebook. Of me like with the fedora hat. I'm just like, I look so hard.
Hell
Like,
yeah, dude.
no.
Oh man, a unironic fedora.
God, dude.
You should have kept it alive.
No.
Maybe
man.
if people were seeing it in death metal, they would have thought it was cool.
Bro, I can't do that with my hair. Like, that's impossible.
No hats.
No, man. Like I used to wear hats when I was like a skater kid, and then I broke the fuck out of my wrist, and I was like, "Well, I suck at this. I'm gonna play guitar now."
I was gonna say, going back to like when you were like, "Oh, like we're just the softest nerds ever." It's like every time I see you at a show, your hair's down, but every time I see you outside, it's up, and I'm like, that is the most like just. All right, cool.
Yeah,
That's
if
it.
my hair is down, like I joke, like that is me being DJ.
Right.
If my hair is up, I mean it's up because this shit's not gonna fit on my head otherwise. That's Dejan because I'm trying to be a lot more professional and like that's how I am at work. And it's funny too because like I know when I would be in meetings with like my managers and stuff, it's like when they start talking to me about stuff I'm interested in, there's a slow escalation of like how my vernacular gets and how many times like I pause or have to stop myself from swearing because I swear normally while I'm speaking.
Yeah.
So it's like this tentative balance. Like, but the hair thing is funny because if I work the merch table, I make sure my hair is up. I'm wearing a different shirt and everything. Sometimes I have glasses on. Yeah. And then I'll get on stage and everyone's like, "You were the guy at the table." I was like, yes, that was me.
I like to imagine DJ as some kind of like Mr. Hyde. I like to imagine that you're at a work meeting and he's just coward. Just take me out.
Dude.
Drink a beer. Like, he talks to you all day long.
That is like the feeling at a concert when I'm just like, I'm waiting to get on stage and it's like, cool, we play at 9. It is 5. I can't drink at all. I can have an energy drink. I can monitor the merch table.
I like to imagine it's this right now, but your hair's down and your sleeves are gone.
Yeah.
This is what you see on the other side of the mirror, you know?
Dude, it's the two sides of the mind.
Did you ever have a nickname other than your name? Like I had people call me JT for a while when I was a kid.
There was a chick in high school called me Dobby.
Dobby? That's cool. Why?
Like the Harry Potter character?
That's Dobby.
Oh.
Actually, I'm heading to the internet right now.
She called me Dobby, and it was like a short version of Doughboy.
Like, because you were chubby?
I guess, but that was freshman year, and then I got super jacked for wrestling.
Do you remember getting bullied for something stupid? Like, I mean, it's always a
Yeah,
stupid
I'm
reason.
short, brown. I have fucking tiny, chubby hands. Like, name one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
God.
I didn't think it was that bad.
It was pretty bad, man.
Oh, I got made fun of because I liked ketchup a lot.
Ketchup?
Yeah, that
Ketchup,
was it.
like, what do you mean you like ketchup?
Like
What?
I would just use it as like my number one condom. I swear to God, kids are so not fucking creative at all. And there was just one day, like, well, I mean, they would make fun of me but I was definitely like in early 2000s, like sheeple style. You know, like I had a puka shell necklace. You know what I mean? Like I spiked my hair all the way around. Like at one point, I legit had like blonde tips in my hair.
Damn, so cool.
Yeah, you know. So like, you know, I was always kind of fit for the crowd. But there's one day, this fucking kid got up on the table and was just like, "Look how much ketchup he's eating," and it was just, I mean, it was probably more than normal.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I literally was just mid hot dog, like, and then all these kids, bah, like. They called me
Ketchup.
so. Like,
That's
yeah, so they
fucking dumb.
so they called me ketchup. Like I like to imagine that, and I forgot that dude's name, but I would like to hope that if I ever met him in real life again, the first thing he better say is ketchup.
Okay, so on that,
I would
have
go ballistic.
two things for you gentlemen in regards to ketchup.
Okay.
So one is a story and one is a question.
Okay.
So my uncle growing up, he would douse his mac and cheese in ketchup.
Oh.
Whoa.
Douse it. And I was like, yeah, sure, it's okay. And then like I told that to my fiance, and she just had the most like, it looked like those flapjack animations when like they zoom in on their faces, and she's just, oh, and she's like, that's disgusting. I'm like, what the fuck? So my question to you guys is, do you refrigerate your ketchup?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This caused many debates at Household Bell.
So-
Like screaming matches between family members. I'm like, oh shit.
So here's my thing with this, and it's the same thing with butter, is that I know that you can have both not refrigerated because every restaurant you go to, it's a lukewarm bottle of ketchup.
yeah.
But because my entire life, that's what we did, that's why I do it. Like if I have the conscious idea of like, I can just leave this out, but I'll always put it back in the fridge.
Same.
What was the other part?
Oh no, just the story about my.
I was waiting.
Ketchup.
I was so waiting for you to ask the question. Was that weird? And that's why I was looking at you. So I was waiting.
Because Jacob puts applesauce on fucking everything.
My grandmother did.
They could have
that.
called me applesauce. They all knew about that too.
My grandmother did that, so that's not so weird. Like, dude, Grandma Casper is fucking nuts.
Grandma Casper used to put mac and cheese or applesauce on everything.
Pretty much everything. Like, my mom was making pasta one day, dude, and like, so she just like, we're eating it later. Like, why does this taste sweet? Something's really weird. And here comes my old grandmother just walking by with a fucking bottle of apple juice and just pouring it into the fucking sauce.
Damn.
She's me, dude. I think I am your Grandma Casper.
Resurrection.
I know, dude. No, so that's why I was looking, because like I cannot talk. Like no one, if anyone ever says like, oh, I don't fucking know, like this and this, and I go, that's gross. All of them collectively will be like, are you fucking serious right now? Because it was a thing from my childhood, and it's on. Like I've said this a million times on the show, but it's primarily mac and cheese. It's my favorite thing. Any kind of pasta, pizza, chicken, French fries sometimes. I know, it like I just
I mean, applesauce and like pork chops makes sense.
tried and true.
Yeah.
But I will tell everyone, and everyone who's tried it says at least they get it.
Yeah.
Because I am a firm believer. You should not say it until you try it. And this goes.
Yeah, it's like a pineapple on pizza. It's like, I get it, you know, but I don't like it that. It's not my first choice.
Yeah, I get it, but like I would definitely like the only way I think I would be fine with pineapple on a pizza is if the spice level of like the sauce and like the pepperoni or whatever meat, or for me because I'm a fucking vegan, meat substitute is on there to counteract it. So you have a good spicy and sweet. Because if it's too much, I'm like, yeah, this just ruined the whole fucking piece of pizza.
Yeah, no, I work at a pizza place, and surprisingly, like I want to say like half of the Hawaiian pizzas we put out, like people add like jalapenos to it.
Yeah.
You know, and that makes more sense to me.
I never thought about that. Wow, I never.
I know, right? Doesn't that sound good, kind of?
Yeah.
That sounds better. That sounds way better.
Like
to me.
honestly, man, like that's not a bad idea. I'm thinking here, like,
How long have you been vegan for?
I've been vegan for 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
My lady is vegan, and so it was like, well, I'm not cooking meat, so if you want to eat, you're gonna eat what I'm cooking, or you're gonna have to cook it yourself. And I was like, okay, well, and it was better for me, man, because like coming up, it was nothing but like bacon burgers and beer and just everything that's not great for me. And like genetically, I won the fucking lotto, so like I already have preconditioned like heart shit that's possibly in my future. So I'm like, yeah, I should probably be healthier.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
And you don't miss it at all?
No.
Oh.
There was a time like the one thing that would like get me sometimes is like it was hard to find a good vegan pepperoni substitute. And that would like, oh God, I need pizza. But Pizza Heaven Bistro has a great fucking substitute. And then there's been some good substitutes, but like it doesn't hit me the way it does. Like when I smell it cooking, my brain is like, oh yeah, I know what that is. But it's just like, I want the vegan version of it. It's not that like I want the meat version of it. And honestly, man, like the thing that did it for me is our older vocalist, our first vocalist, Victor. He had shared this video a long time ago. And like, I remember seeing it and what it was. And it's like, I can't listen to it. I can't listen to it because I will mentally fucking snap. And it was like pigs.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's it. I'm done. I can't. I just like watching it even without the volume. I was like, okay, I gotta switch over now because I'm like, this is like eating my dog.
This conversation's always rough because I too have seen those videos.
As have I.
And it's like, that's when I feel the worst, you know? And I know that most people are not going to be like, you fucking piece of shit. You know, like, I know it's a preference thing for sure.
I don't hate anybody that eats meat. I absolutely fucking understand because I also know the substitutes and the way it's created. Like, I have friends who have hardcore allergies. They can't eat some of the substitutes because that shit's going to fucking kill them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's like, it's that disconnect. And I think that's why so many people like switch it up once they see how it's made, you know, because back in the day, you were doing that yourself. You know, you were slaughtering the pigs and doing whatever you had to do. So I think, yeah, we definitely consume a lot more meat than we used to. So I don't know, maybe that should be like a requirement. Like you got to watch the video, and if you still feel like you can do it,
I feel like if you balance it out with enough greens and fiber in your diet, you're good. Like I have family members who straight up still eat like carne asada and steaks and all this shit. So like when we come over, there's always like a vegan version of the food and then other food, because it's not just me. It's like my uncle and his wife and their son, and then my lady and I, her sister. So like we have a few people in the family. My mom, she goes back and forth on it because she's got some fucking crazy food allergies. Like she can't have corn.
Which is in everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So like she has to be very careful about how she eats things. So she'll sometimes eat like vegan because it's a little safer for her. And then she still likes her chicken here and there.
And you haven't cracked one time in 5 years? Not once.
I have had a pepperoni pizza. I took a bite into it and I was just like, this feels weird. And like, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, when you're eating non-dairy cheese for so long, and like I'm predispositioned for lactose because my mom's lactose.
Yeah.
When you're eating non-dairy cheese for a long time and you eat cheese, that shit's not fun.
Oh, I bet.
I was the king of the porcelain throne. Like I had that pizza and literally I just ripped off all the pepperonis and handed them to my dog. I'm like, here, you can have these.
Wow.
Dad's just gonna eat the actual pizza.
Man, good on you. That's awesome, man.
I'm trying, man. Like I want to be healthier because like I've had shit with my kidneys for years. Like I
me
don't
too.
have enough filtering units in it and shit. So like this was the fucked up thing. In high school, I was not jacked, man. Like if you find pictures of me from like high school, I was not jacked. I was toned in some way, but like I was not like raw. And like I went for my physical, and the doctor's like, "Hey, I don't mean to make you feel weird or anything." I was like, "Oh fuck, this is gonna be awkward." He's like, "So is your coach, you know, handing out anything in the locker rooms for you guys to help boost your game?" I'm like, "No. What the fuck?" And I guess it's because like one of the chemicals that's found in that wasn't being filtered out through like my kidneys. So like they thought I was like on steroids. I'm like,
Dang.
dude, I'm not. I'm like, my kidneys just suck.
You know what's interesting, real quick, is like I had kidney problems, and the way that they found out is that I have a bump on my ear, and I had an accident. You know, I just got hit in the back, and my kidney swelled. But the doctor was like, we could have noticed that he had problems because apparently the ears and the kidneys form at the same time when you're cooking. And yeah, so I was like, wow. So it's like kind of like saying, it's like, wow, are you on gear right now? Because if you're not, you should go to the doctor immediately. That's fucking sweet, dude. This has been awesome. I always love having you guys on. It sucks that Collins couldn't make it.
Yeah, he's got those car issues and shit, man. But like, I can't speak highly enough about Coleman joining and helping out with everything. And like literally he attacked it full force, and we couldn't have asked for a better vocalist. Like the weirdest thing is when we were trying people out, we got a few different auditions, and there were some solid ones out there. There was like one or two that were like, okay, this dude's got kind of everything we're looking for, but then this guy also has everything that we're looking for, but not quite the same way. And life just lined up for Coleman to like join us full time. And I made an error earlier when I was talking about the lineup for the concert. It's us, so the Exiled Martyr, Amaya, Shores of Ithaca, Cebulia, and Thrashcan. Okay. I can't forget the Ghostbusters. Those
I want you to
guys.
know right now, we're going to fast forward to Friday. There's already a nerd that was like, this fucking guy.
Oh, no, like, they don't fucking like the bands they play with.
Confirmed that you hate the band.
Nah, dude, it's been super cool. Like just working with everything, and then like getting the art out for Carrying Crown. Like we dropped that on Halloween. We might have a music video for that one
Sometime.
There is a video, possibly, maybe. There's a lot of stuff in the pipeline that I'm super excited about, and like that's been the coolest thing because with the plague and the member change, it got to a point to where I was like, shit, are we done? Like, bro, we're fucking 30.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like I looked at myself in the mirror one day getting ready for a show, and like I put on my shirt and whatnot. Then I put on my glasses. Like, fuck. I'm an old metal dude now. like the older metal guys, I was like, shit, dude, I hit that point.
That's where you go through one song in the pit and then you go in the back and you're like,
oh, bro, like I'm already like, oh, do I want to go for this song? Like, no, I really don't.
me and Christian are confirmed. Beer, arms crossed, one of these.
Dude, and like that's sometimes just how it is, and it's cool. It's nice to see that like it's still expanding. Like the thing that always trips me out is like when we have fans that are like younger than like our normal peer group. Like I look at our Spotify stuff and like, yeah, it is important, but like my biggest thing has always been with music is if I can make somebody out there feel like they're worthwhile and like the world doesn't fucking hate them and they're not worthless, I did my fucking job. I don't care if we're playing to like the hugest crowds possible. If someone's like, I didn't want to do the worst thing possible for myself and people who care about me because this riff or this drum part or this lyric really got to me, I did what the fuck I was supposed to do.
Which is the exact opposite of what we do, where we're like, you're stinky, you don't take care of yourself, you dress bad. We just bully people. That's great, dude. December 15th, Exile Martyr's headlining show.
Headlining show at Pub Rock.
At Pub Rock. Tickets?
Yes, we do have a ticket link available through our official website, actually. We do have an official website now, which is really awesome. Yeah. We're getting some new merch stuff updated on there. There is actually an exclusive t-shirt that is coming with this newest single. So if you guys dug the artwork, we have a fantastic artist, Fendi Daywalker, did a fucking phenomenal job. Like, I'm the worst person to meet outside of like normal band functions because if like I've been drinking or I'm feeling a little elevated, I spoil fucking everything. So if you ever want to hear songs ahead of time or see t-shirts or artwork, just catch me outside of an event that's not me playing and just like keep handing me drinks. I'm like, oh yeah, here's this and here's this. Like I'm the worst spoiler in the band.
So that's great, man. You have a website, exiledmartyr.com, and I'm assuming that's going to have all of your links to everything.
Yes.
Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the fun stuff. exiledmartyr.com, Pub Rock, December 15th. Tickets on sale now. Patreon.com/Basement Dollar Productions if you want to support the show and the boys. We cannot do things without viewers like you. Thank you.
And your money.
And that was what Christian wanted to add. We will wrap this up now. Thank you so much for coming on, DJ.
Dude,
it was
thanks for having
cool. Benji says thanks for coming over as well. There he is, his cameo for the episode. Everyone else, we will see you next week. Goodbye.
If you like what you heard, type into their Instagram and Twitter. The information's right below with their email.
It's time you bit the bullet and started caring about something with all your heart and energy.
Be sure to log into the channel by subscribing and check out the previous episodes. But until then, we'll see you next week with a new one. We out for now.